Hi, Carl Winkler here at Lectrosonics, and in this video I'll be showing you the DCR822 2-channel portable digital receiver. This is the true successor to the venerable UCR411A and even fits in the same mounts, but with double the channels and a host of powerful new features. Like the 411A, the 822 is designed to withstand punishing RF environments and still come out on top. One way we've done this is with the new vector diversity, which has 2 front ends per channel and a unique phase matching system. Another key feature is the robust high current front ends and aggressive filtering. Let's put it this way, everything we've learned from many generations of portable receivers and 4 generations of digital wireless systems is in there. The DCR822 can be powered off of AA batteries or external power and includes a micro SD card slot for firmware updates and to record audio on up to 4 tracks. The receiver is backwards compatible with our digital hybrid wireless transmitters and is of course a perfect match for the D² series all-digital units. The 822 is also compatible with our DCHT and M2T digital dual-channel transmitters. In other words, this thing is packed with features. Alright, let's take a look at the outside. On the front panel, there are 2 SMA antenna jacks on either side. Under the left antenna jack is the micro SD card port with a rubber dust cover. Under the right antenna jack is the IR port for syncing your transmitters quickly. The bright OLED display is very detailed and can even be seen outside in the sunshine. And the 4 sealed tactile buttons are configured just like most of our recent receivers. Menu select, power back, and the up and down arrows to navigate the menus. On the back panel, we see the 2 locking TA3 output connectors. Each can put out a balanced analog signal or an AES digital pair. There's a USB jack under the rubber dust cover and the locking DC power jack. Okay, let's take a quick look at the display and the menus in the DCR822. You'll want to think of the display as showing one receiver channel on the left and the other one on the right. At the top left of each is the operating frequency, and if you press the power back button, this toggles to show the channel name instead. Under that is the diversity state indicator, not just showing up or down for each antenna, but one of 4 phase angle combination possibilities used by the vector diversity system. More on that later. To the right of the diversity symbol is either a link indicator or a pilot indicator depending on the compatibility mode chosen for that channel. The indicator will flash until there is a good link, when it then becomes solid. Under that is the dual RF display for each channel, showing about 6 seconds of history for each front end, with dual diversity. There are 4 front ends in the receiver. To the right of each of the RF meters are battery indicators for the transmitters. The bottom of the display is taken up mostly by the audio output modulation meters. Then at the far bottom right is the battery or external power indicator for the receiver. The battery level will be shown, unless the unit is running off DC power, then the little plug icon is there. In the main menu, we see the different functional areas, starting with the RF setup. Like other related receivers, we can use Smart Tune to automatically select frequencies, one receiver at a time. Depending on the compatibility mode selected, we're able to choose the bandwidth for the auto selection. We can use the IR sync function to send the new frequency, then back out to the home screen to verify that the channel is working. Then next is Group Edit. Here we can program up to 4 frequency groups, each with up to 32 frequencies. Adding or deleting group frequencies is easy. These groups can be stored on the micro SD card and transferred to additional units. The diversity menu shows you the 2 choices you have in the DCR822. The one most likely to be used 90+% of the time is vector diversity. This method is superior to standard true diversity systems used in analog receivers and delivers clean, artifact-free performance. This process can take 2 signals damaged by multipath interference and reassemble them into a usable signal. Then the second choice is frequency diversity, which uses 2 different frequencies from 2 different transmitters so that either one can be in trouble and yet the resulting audio is still rock solid. This is overkill for most situations, but can be a lifesaver when we really need long range in a challenging environment and still have perfect audio. This diversity choice does have a calibration step for matching audio levels between channels. Let's look at the audio setup menu now. First up is audio level, where we can set the audio output to match the associated downstream equipment, from +7 dBu all the way down to -50. Compat mode gives us choices between the different digital hybrid modes and the different digital modes, including D², Duet unencrypted, and DCHX encrypted. Output type lets us choose between analog and AES-3 digital, and then routing gives us the choice about how we can send those audio channels through to the output connectors. Smart NR is just like it has been on previous receivers. This is a dynamic noise reduction system that can be helpful when there is hiss present in the audio. Smart NR is, by default, off for D2 mode and set to normal for digital hybrid modes. TalkBack lets us route the audio to a different output connector and gives us choices for that operation, either TalkBack only, override, mix, or off. The SD card menu is very similar to what's in the SPDR, so I won't go into too much detail here. But one function that isn't in the small recorders is the ability to save and load frequency tuning groups to and from the microSD card. This way, you can transfer group and lists between receivers or to transmitters like the DPR that have a micro SD card slot. Just be aware that you can record however many audio channels you are picking up. For instance, if you have two mono transmitters, like an SSM and a DPR, then you would record on only 2 tracks. If you're picking up 2 DCHT stereo transmitters, then you can record on all 4 discrete tracks. Next in the main menu is IR and keys. Here we can use infrared sync function to send frequency, send all settings, get a frequency from a transmitter, or get all settings. This can be useful if we want to clone a bunch of settings into several transmitters, then pick frequencies, and then send just the frequencies. Like our other encrypted digital units, we have several choices for key management policies. For a fuller explanation of the different types of key management policies, check out my video on the D² encryption choice and setup. The Settings menu offers the lock-unlock function, allowing you to prevent changes to the unit from the front panel. And the display backlight timeout can be chosen. Since the DCR822 has 2 receivers, you can power down the individual channels for power savings if you aren't using both. The date and time function are important for timestamping any recordings on the microSD card. The locale function relates to how much of the receiver's frequency bandwidth will show in a scan or when using SmartTune. The North American setting does not allow TV37 between 608 and 614 MHz to be used. With the EU setting, these frequencies can be used. This will match the available tuning ranges in the transmitters sold in these different regions. As you can see, the DCR822 is a flexible and powerful yet easy-to-use tool for a variety of applications. And the RF and audio performance are second to none. Mainly, the vector diversity and extremely robust RF front end put this receiver in a class of its own, without sacrificing sensitivity and therefore operating range. But don't take my word for it, be sure to check it out for yourself. For more information, look at the product details on Lectrosonics.com. I'm Carl Winkler, thanks for watching.